It is All-Star Weekend, and today we are looking back at the first time the game was held in Salt Lake City. That was back in 1993. Well, while a lot has changed since then, one thing, or rather one man, has stayed the same. ABC4's Jillian Smuckler talked with the team's first and only public address announcer since the Jazz moved to Utah 44 years ago.
If you've been to a Utah Jazz home game, that loud, booming voice you hear is Dan Roberts. As the longest-serving PA announcer in the NBA, he's really in a league of his own, and he's getting ready to call his second NBA All-Star game right here in Salt Lake City. Inside Utah Jazz games, fans know only one voice at the arena.
Acceptable background ambiance.
They hear Dan Roberts, the team's first and only public address announcer since the Jazz moved to Utah 44 years ago.
And the Jazz announced their arrival, and I felt I had a decent resume, so I auditioned, and here I am. I just kept showing up.
From introducing the starting lineups in the 1993 NBA All-Star Game in Salt Lake City, when Karl Malone and John Stockton won co-MVPs.
From the world champion Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan.
To the 1998 NBA Finals, where the Chicago Bulls played the Utah Jazz. The longest-serving PA announcer in the NBA has done it all.
I paid the dues to get here. I've been here, and they've allowed me to be here, and the good Lord's kept my voice clear.
So who's the man behind the mic?
Testing, 1, 2, testing, mic check.
He's a confident,
No, I've earned it.
hard-working guy
I'm prepared, I guarantee you.
who knows how to get the job done.
Sit down, write notes that I need to know, starting lineups, wait for the horn to go off, do the game, and get up and go like that, and say goodbye to everybody and head home.
But it wasn't always this way.
Those first days there they were a little frightening because I've never done it before. The guy said, you're talking to somewhere between 2 to 3 million people. And I introduced both teams live with that. And he told me that afterwards, thank the good Lord. Otherwise, I might have melted under the table.
He got his big break announcing for the Utah Stars in 1971. Moved on to the Utes basketball team and then the Jazz. Game after game, people started to recognize him.
They recognize I've heard that voice before.
Fast forward to now, he's getting ready to announce his second NBA All-Star game in his career.
It's a little bit different from the standpoint of the competitive aspect, which I've always enjoyed, to a situation now where they try to outscore each other as much as they possibly can. I mean, they take shots from midcourt and beyond just to see if they can make them, basically.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Only this time, it'll be like he's talking to 18,000 of his closest friends and family.
I'm used to the group. They're all, I'm kind of second, third generation from when I started now. So I'm with the mom and dads of the grandchildren.
And until the team wins the NBA Finals,
I've been here long enough, and if we win a championship, I'd be hoping that I would be able to move on out with the ring.
Jazz fans won't see a final mic drop from him anytime soon.
You know, if I can be 80 and still do it and roll out in my wheelchair, that'll be fine.
As long as the Jazz are rolling out for a new game, he will too. With that iconic voice, Jazz fans have come to remember. Roberts has had the best seat in the house for decades, and this weekend is no different. So while Jazz fans will see a completely transformed Vivint Arena, they'll hear a pretty familiar voice up in the stands. Reporting in Salt Lake City, Jillian Smuckler, ABC4 News.